Hello everyone, how are you guys doing today? My name is Crayon and welcome to my channel. On this channel it is all about using up the products you have, a lot of project panning. My particular focus will be on makeup, skincare, body care, and nail polish as well. So if any of that sounds very exciting to you, make sure you like this video, leave a comment down below. I'm so excited to have you here, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Today is all about the makeup I want to use in 2023, and the reason why I want to do this video is to kind of set the intentions for my project panning as I start up this channel and get going on a full year of panning. So to kind of give an overview a little bit about my makeup journey, right? I've always been someone who has worn makeup, like eyeshadow, eyeliner, mascara, maybe some blush here and there. But I didn't really get fully into makeup until COVID, right? The wonderful year of COVID. I was watching a lot of beauty-related content. I got into products I never really used before. So things like powder, things like bronzer, and any brow product, highlighter. And through that journey there, I started to learn a little bit more about it. My husband gave me a wonderful birthday present that particular year of a subscription to BoxyCharm, the base and the premium, because he does like to spoil me a little bit. And through BoxyCharm, my makeup collection, my skincare collection grew significantly because I was trying all these new products and I wanted to make sure that I was still using up items, because now that I had so much more coming in than I would regularly have, I want to make sure I was getting use out of it. I started panning my makeup in October of 2021, and that kind of turned into kind of a mix between project pan and a shop my stash, where I had a little monthly basket. Some products I was trying to use up and some I would just rotate each month, just so I got that use out of my entire collection. In January of 2022, that's when I started actually tracking more fully in terms of how many products I used up. My goal was to use 22 makeup items in 2022 and to use 22 skincare items in 2022. For the makeup, I've done really well. I was not expecting to complete as many as I did, right? The goal was 22 and I was very nervous about achieving that goal. But I ended up at this point, because we're towards the middle of December right now, I'm over 30 items. And that is just really exciting that I have completely used up. Obviously not just within 2022, but that's when I got those products used up. So that is really exciting. And so I want to keep that momentum going. It's kind of been a natural progression, just like with a lot of other people here on YouTube. You kind of start doing it on your own first, then it's like, well, why don't I share it with you guys, with the panning community, right? To share my progress, my journey, what I'm playing with, what I'm not liking so much, and kind of share all that together. Willow's already making her first appearance. Anyway, little Willow, Alaskan Cleek High. So she's almost 2 years old. But today, this video is all about my intentions for my makeup. So the products that I would like to use up in 2023. I have already planned out a bunch of projects that I would like to do coming up in the new year, so stay tuned for that. But of course, these products I have here, I want to either start rolling those into these projects or I might work on them behind the scenes. It kind of depends how things go. But I have a list to get us started and so that you guys know what may be coming in my future project pans, specifically on the makeup focus. So let's just dive right in. So let's look at the products I have selected and the current progress that I have on them. The first two that I want to start off with are my primers. So being here in Canada, I'm in Saskatchewan, our winters are very cold and very windy and it can get a little ridiculous. So the two primers I want to focus on initially are closer to getting done, but they're also more of a hydrating type of primer. So that of course balances very well with winter because you need that hydration. The primers I have starting off with, the first one I would like to use up is this one from Touch in Soul. This is their Glassy Skin Balm. And this is something I did get in BoxyCharm and I am making really good progress on this. It is a white product inside the white bottle here, so you may not be able to see it too well, but I'm basically down right down here. There's not a whole ton of this left. I want to use this one up fairly quickly, get it out of my collection, because then I've got another primer out, and I have a lot of primers. BoxyCharm likes to send me the primers. The other item I want to use up, same kind of hydrating kind of primer, kind of a famous one. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. So it's a primer and moisturizer in one. And this is where I'm at right at this particular point. So again, making good progress. When I first got this product, it was probably up here-ish or so. So that's what I've been able to use since I started using this product a couple months ago. I've been kind of switching off between the Glassy primer and this one. And yeah, it's nice. It's good. Do I love it? Not so much, but it is a nice hydrating one, and I want to get it used up in the winter months. So those are my first two. Those are primers. I do have a couple of liquid eyeshadows that I would like to use. The first one is this guy here. This is from Lorac. This is one of their liquid their eye gloss. This was in a trio set. I got the trio in BoxyCharm as well. This one is so pretty. If you can see that shift in there. It kind of goes from purple to kind of blue to kind of green. It is a gorgeous product, but not a lot is coming out on the wand now, and sometimes I have issues with this guy creasing or staying on the eyelid. If I'm patting it down with like a cream shadow brush, that does help a lot. But I have had this open for a little while, in part because like, just use it. It's so pretty. Right, and because it's so pretty, I was very reluctant to use it, especially because, you know, it's purple. It's my favorite color. But then it's like, that's being ridiculous. So my goal recently is to have been using it 5 times a month, and I have been able to do that. But I just want to make more progress on it, get it finished up. You can potentially see slight windowing in there, but you can't really see the settling of this particular item. But the other one, you can. So this is from L'Oreal. This is their Brilliant Eyes Liquid Shadow. And I have the shade 425 Amethyst Quartz. I have used a lot of this particular one. It does settle, but it feels like as I've been using the product, you know, you're scraping it up along the sides, more product is kind of being left on there. But you can see a ton of windowing. I think I'm down to around here-ish or so. So it shouldn't take too long to finish that up. Again, like the other liquid eyeshadow, my goal has generally been to use it about 5 times a month, just so, again, you get that continuous usage and use it up. So probably by the time I get this finished, there'll be about 50 uses in total for that little guy there. All right, the next one. There's going to be gimme products because you need that. This is the Covergirl True Blend Eyeliner. And this is what I've got. So we've got 2 sides here. This first side, I don't like. So it is kind of a nice little creamy kind of color, kind of that white color there. I ideally did want to use it in my waterline just to brighten that eye area a little bit. But this pencil is, I believe, discontinued. It is quite old in my collection. So my 2 problems with it, one, the color isn't quite right. It's a little bit deep in terms of the waterline for that brightening effect. And also you really have to scrape it, which not great for your eyes. So this side, not even interested in. The other side is Expresso. That's all I have left. That's it. I'm not the biggest fan of these kind of pencil eyeliners. I prefer something with a little bit more creaminess to it, so it glides on the eye a little bit better. This one works fine. I get some decent color payoff on it. I don't have to work too hard on that guy, but I want to get it out because it's literally just this much left. I'm expecting anytime I sharpen it, which I'm not the best at sharpening my pencils, I'm expecting that guy to go. So hopefully nice little gimme product towards the beginning of 2023. The next category I'd like to discuss are a foundation and 2 concealers that I have in my collection. The first one, of course, is the foundation, kind of a favorite here on YouTube. I'm sure you're all very familiar with it, the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. Obviously, this blew up several years ago, and of course, me being late to the Project Pan game, watching people's videos, wanted to try it because everyone liked it. I think it sits on my skin fairly fine. I do enjoy it. I had been using this intermittently with other foundations as well. And so I made actually really good progress on it. I'm not sure you'll be able to see that line there, but it's about here-ish or so. And before it had some time to settle, because I haven't used it in probably a couple months, it looked like it was much lower down. So I did that usual thing I'm sure a lot of us have done. You freak out, like, I don't want to finish it. It's a really good product. Lots of people enjoy this one. So I'll set it to the side and work on other foundations. And it's still sitting here. Again, all products do expire, so I do want to make sure I use it up. And this one is getting fairly close to completion. The next one is a concealer. It is really close to getting done here. This is the Maybelline, and this is the Full Coverage Under Eye Concealer. This is fine. It's not the best. I feel like it doesn't last on my skin as long. This is also in the shade 20, so a little bit of a peachy tone to it, again, for that color correction. And I am getting really low on it. So if we look at that doe foot, there is some product in there, but not a whole lot. And if you look inside, if I kind of try to squeeze this forward here, right, there's the product there, here-ish or so. So there's not a ton of this left. I'm not sure I'll cut into it because that seems very messy, but I want to use it up, get it done. Hopefully that one doesn't take too long. And the final concealer I want to use up, this one is, of course, another big famous one for the under eye. This is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. I have the shade of the Brightening Concealer. Again, I'm sure you're all very familiar with this one. It does have that nice settle, so you can see I'm right there. And I haven't particularly focused in on this one. Like, I'll use it every once in a while. Generally, I've been using other concealers or concealing type products. But because we're getting almost halfway or so, and I don't use a ton of this under my eyes, I want to make sure that I'm getting it used up and out of my collection and onto some other concealers that I have in backstock. All right, the next category of items are some cream items. Cream products are something I never had a lot of interest in. I did accumulate these 2 particular ones through BoxyCharm, and I've been making use of them. So let's start with the one that's less exciting, at least for me personally. You can see me here. That's the iconic London. This is the multi-use sculpting palette. This particular one I have made some great progress on. So let's just talk about it a little bit. I have tried, obviously this one's too deep for me, but I have tried these contour ones before. And with these contour shades, I don't like, it's either their tone or their undertone. I did try this back in the summer when I had a little bit more of a summer tan. I don't really like the color. I don't really like the work from these particular ones. That's about it. So these ones are basically being ignored. But these top ones, I have made really good progress on. Now, I don't use these in probably what they're meant to be used as highlighting shades. Generally, I've been using them as concealer. So in the summer, I started off with this one here. I was using this one as kind of an all-over concealer, like spot concealer where I needed it. I made really good progress, a lot of pan in there, but it is now a little bit too deep for my skin tone in the winter months. When I was using this one as my spot concealer, I was using this one here a little bit more banana-y. I was using that one under my eyes as a brightening concealer, which is why I had less use on this guy here. I was using this one. Now that, of course, we're in winter, Saskatchewan, we're fully in winter zone right now. This one has become my spot concealer. So again, the pan expanded a lot more on this one. And I've just started using this one here. Probably can't see a whole lot of progress because it's only been a little bit. And again, you just light dab of my sponge, pat it under the eye, light dab, pat on the eye, blend that out. And that's all I've got on use on that one. So I'm not sure how far I'll get with this particular shade, just because again, winter only lasts so long, or hopefully we'll see how the weather brings for us. But my goal would be to finish these two here up. So especially when we get into some warmer weather, hopefully get some good pan, maybe finish it. We'll kind of see how things go. But that's the iconic London highlighting palette there. The other cream product is this one from Alleyoop. So this is the Stack the Odds in the shade Sassy. It's pretty fun. It's a good travel palette. So here you, of course, you have all cream products. You have a bronzer, a blush, and a highlighter. Sassy Pants is, I believe, the lightest version. So of course, they have different ones for different skin tones. So if we take a look at this guy here, I have tried them all. You can see some really nice progress on that cream bronzer. The highlighter, I don't like. I don't like cream or liquid highlighters in general. I find them difficult to work with. Generally, I think most people find success blending that out with their fingers. And for me, I'm very much a brush kind of person. I don't want to use my fingers. So just personal preference. So the highlighter, not for me. But the blush and the bronzer, I do want to use up. These, of course, will probably come into play more in the spring and the summer. Again, just because they're cream products. And this bronzer is a little bit deeper on me at this point of the year. Talking about the progress, I use this in kind of my shop my stash rotation for about a month. And that's the progress I made. So if we take a look at that bronzer, obviously you can see the pan there, but you can see all of those dips as well in there. So lots of progress. Again, maybe 3 weeks of actual use within that month. I used the product all together, so the blush has the same amount of use. So you can see how there's a crack in there, so maybe it's starting to dry out. But there is a dip. It is a beautiful tone. I do enjoy it. That kind of shade of a cream blush I do like. So I will be looking at using that guy up. Hopefully. For sure the bronzer I expect I should be able to use up again just with that use, but that's going to have to wait until it's a little bit more suitable for my skin tone. The next item that I want to bring, this is something that's a newer item for me in general, and that is powder products. So this one in particular is the Nude by Nature. This is their translucent loose finishing powder in the shade Banana. Powders I've never really used a whole lot, but through getting some BoxyCharm and some other sources, let's try. Let's see what we can do. So I tend to use powders for setting underneath the eyes, a little bit in here because that can sometimes get a little bit oily. I tend to have normal skin tone, so I don't need a lot of powder and it can look very cakey very quickly. I also tend to prefer a pressed powder compared to a loose powder just because, you know, they're messy, right? You're taking them up, you got product in here, you got to swirl your brush in, tap it off, make sure you don't get too much, otherwise you can look cakey and it's not as good. But this particular one I've been using for a little while, so you can kind of see it looks full on that side. But so there is a fair amount of product in here still. But I'm hoping to use them up because I have so many powders. If I try to get this flat, the line is about here at this point. So not quite halfway through. This does have 10 grams of product in there. But again, I do have this banana powder. I've got translucent loose powders. I've got pressed powders. So I've got a lot of powder I'm going to work through. So we'll see. We'll see how that one in particular goes. All right, the big category now. Lip products. I have a fair number of lip products here that I would like to use up in 2023. I've tried to grab a variety of formulas, of colors, just to make sure that you have that variety because I tend to get bored of lip colors pretty quickly. I like to cycle through them. And some of these are quite old in my collection. They're still fine. They're still performing well. They haven't changed in terms of scent or anything like that. Obviously, if they had, I would have tossed them because you, especially on your mouth, you're technically consuming that product. So you gotta be very careful with it. But these are the lip products that I have chosen to get started on. So let's start with this first one. This is a gloss, which I'm sure is discontinued. This is the Maybelline Baby Lips Gloss. And I've picked this one because there isn't a ton of product in here. It has 5.5 milliliters. Again, I haven't really finished a gloss, so that's still probably very ambitious for me. But I already have progress to about here or so, and I haven't been using it consistently. It's just kind of every once in a while. There is some transfer. Just the nature of glosses, you can kind of see that different discoloration towards the top. From putting a lip liner on, then throwing this on top. That tends to be my preferred way of using glosses. So we'll see how this one goes. A gloss, nice and easy, and you constantly have to reapply glosses as well. Next one is also super old. I'm also sure this is discontinued. This is the Rimmel London Lasting Finish Kiss and Stay Lip Gloss. So this is a double-ended lip gloss. You can see there's progress. In here you can see a little bit of windowing here and up here. I think that's some windowing here. This side you basically can't see because of those stickers on there, very old. It is the lip color merge today, so I do know it's still good. So of course I put the base color on, the gloss on top. You don't get a ton of product on that wand, but you do get a little, you still get that application in there. If you swirl, you might be able to see that windowing occurring, so there's not a ton left in there. Gloss side, I'm not a big fan of this kind of brush. I feel it's hard to apply a nice even coat. It is what it is, but there's still a fair amount of gloss on there. So I do want to get those both sides used up again because I don't want to waste it. I don't want it going bad, and I do really like the color. Nice kind of natural one. Let's go for the less natural lip colors. This, of course, Bite Beauty has gone out of business. This came in a BoxyCharm. This is their Power Move Crayon Matte Lip Crayon. Long names, tiny stickers, of course, all that fun stuff. This is in the color Acai Smash. Sorry. This came in a BoxyCharm. I have been since about either March or April of last year trying to use this 5 times in a month, and I have only that much left. I don't love it. It does transfer pretty easily, but the color itself is pretty long lasting. Obviously this brand doesn't exist anymore, but I do want to get that used up. Because it is a bolder color, that's why I usually set myself only like a 5 use per month goal, and that has added up over time. So I want to get that done, used up, and then onto other fun bold colors. I don't use a whole lot of bold colors in my lip kind of collection, but you know, every once in a while you like to pull them out. On the same line of bolder lip colors, we've got this little tiny Tom Ford lipstick. It actually came in that set here that you guys can see. This red one here for Lunar New Year last year. This one is the lip color in 16 Scarlet Rouge. It is just a mini. I've only used it a couple times. I've used it 5 or 6 times because I just put it in kind of like my shop my stash for December because, you know, Christmas red lip. It is not it's not the same color when you put it on the lips. So it looks a little bit darker, a little bit more red here. When you put it on the lips, it's a little bit more of a summery red, I found. And I like it better if I put like a red lip liner underneath it and then put this on top. Again, it's very nice and hydrating, but it does transfer super easily. So it's not like the Bite Crayon, for example, where it transfers, but the color is still there and it lasts. This one, it transfers and it's gone. So you drink something and you almost don't have any lip color on, at least in my experience with it so far. Tom Ford, of course, a very expensive brand, not one I'm particularly interested in with their full sizes based on that particular small size that I got, but it's what it is. The next 3 items kind of work as one, and these are 2 liquid lip colors and a lip gloss. These are from Lip Sense by Scene Jean. This is their long-lasting liquid lip color and their moisturizing gloss. These 3 items I had bought for my wedding because they're, you know, a long-lasting liquid lipstick. And I got married back in 2018, so these are quite old. And they are not my favorite. They were good for the wedding because, of course, they are long-lasting. But if anyone has any familiar or background with these products in particular, the lip colors, they're not fun to apply. They sting a lot. Recommended to put 1 to 3 coats on. You top it with moisturizing gloss, which you need, otherwise it's just bad. And that application is part of the reason why I haven't made a ton of progress on them. Again, they are old, but their formulas haven't seemed to change. Maybe the performance isn't quite as long, but they still work fairly well. So these 3 items are working in tandem. So to show you the close-ups, the 2 colors I have, this first one here is Praline Rose. I have started working on this one a little bit this year, so I was probably up here-ish or so. And now I'm down to here. So with dedicated focus on it, again, I don't want to use them every day just because they're not the best application and I don't want to risk drying my lips out at all. But that's where I've gotten to on Praline Rose. Very beautiful little nude one there. For my wedding day, I layered that one with this in Sassy Z. And again, similar amount of progress because generally I do wear them together. I'll put this one down first, this one so it's not quite as bright on top, make it a little bit more neutral, and then finally I'll top it with the gloss at the end. But this is my progress so far on this particular guy. The gloss, again, very comparable. Generally, I don't reapply the gloss. You do want like one kind of thicker application, which is why, again, it's kind of all in this same spot there. Because of the age of these products, I don't think I want to take them into 2024, but these were expensive. I think the colors retail for about $34 Canadian. The gloss for about $23. So altogether, it's quite an expensive lip look. So I want to make sure I get those used up and out of my collection. The last lip product that I have, this one also came in a BoxyCharm. It was one of their older boxes that they had that I picked up because I wasn't a subscriber to BoxyCharm at the time of this particular box. This is the Sol de Janeiro lip gloss. And again, I do think this one is a discontinued product. This is the Sol Matte. And it's a lovely balm. I do really enjoy it. And that's all I have left. I just started using it in the fall because, again, it is kind of a neutral tinted balm. It does deposit a little bit of color, especially if you layer it up. But that's all I have left. You may be able to tell on there, there is some texture in there, and from doing some research, that seems to have been from weather changes and fluctuations in Canada because it's fun. It came to me like that, so at first it freaked me out a little bit, but I did my research. That seems to be what it is. It does mean the application process isn't as nice as it would have originally been, simply because you do have that texture, but it performs well. I haven't had any irritation from it, and it does have that scent, which I didn't like at the beginning. It reminds me of a glazed donut, which the scent does linger on your lips for a little bit. But I've really enjoyed it. And if we scroll it back into the tube, you can kind of see how much I've used since the fall. Generally, I believe my goal was to use it between 10 and 20 times a month. So that's how much progress I've made on it. And again, this is how much I have left. So I have a gloss, I have some liquid lips, I've got a balm, I've got a lipstick, so a variety of formulas, a variety of colors. One final item that I have. This also came in a BoxyCharm, and it's gotten a lot of wear. It's a palette. It's a face palette. This one, the brand is True and Luscious, I believe. This is their Lucky Glow Bronze and Highlight palette. I have made amazing progress. Again, bronzer and highlight, those are completely new categories for me in the last couple of years. And this is where I'm at now. I am so excited about this progress. Because I've made such great progress, that's why I want to keep going with it. So just to kind of work through what we have here, it had originally 2 bronzers and 3 highlighters, and then 1 blush here. This particular highlighter in Heaven Sent, I don't like. I don't like how it looks on my skin tone. It leaves kind of that metallic, like, hey, there's a highlight strip on your cheek. I don't enjoy that, so this one I don't intend on using. Originally it was going to be a winter highlight for me, but not so much. This bronzer I used up, this was the first bronzer I had ever used to completion. This is in the shade Serendipity. So kind of, it was a little bit lighter than this one over here. I enjoyed it. I used it up. I even repressed a product. I learned how to do that so I could use all of it. And I'm probably going to have to repress some of these other products in here somewhat soon to kind of get that good usage out of them. So let's just start in the order of application, right? This is the bronzer here. This is in the shade Good Fortune. I do like it. I do tend to use the palette all together. So when I reach for the palette, generally I want to use it as the blush, sorry, the bronzer, the blush, and the highlight all at the same time. Because there's more highlight in here than the blush and the bronzer, I do still reach in for this palette just to make sure I do use it all up. That's the ideal goal. Can I do it in 2023? I guess we'll find out. But the bronzer, I've been making really good progress. I just started using this one in the summer because I finished this one up. And that's the progress I was able to make on that guy there. When I wear bronzer, I blend it down my neck, go around the perimeters, and of course, carve the cheek out a little bit. The blush, this is what makes me feel like this is more a bit of a summer kind of palette, just because it has a bit more of that orangey coral kind of shade to it. I generally tend to prefer a lot of pinker kind of blushes. That's what I'm wearing today. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't been reaching for it as much the last couple of months, and probably won't reach for this as much except to get into the highlighters over the winter months. 2 highlighters in here. We'll start off with 777s. That's this one right here. Got some of that extra fun coloring in here. It is a little bit too deep for my skin tone right now, but in the summer when I have a little bit of a tan from dog walking, this one looks fairly nice. So at this point, this isn't getting a whole lot of use. So I've been transitioning over here. This is Pots of Gold. And you can see I've almost hit side pan. Very, very close. It is getting difficult to use at this point, simply because of I use a nice big kind of fluffy highlighting brush, and it's hard to kind of get around here, but I'm making progress. So that is the palette. We'll see how much progress I'm able to make. And again, just to kind of get that sense of all of these pans, and you can kind of see where it started with that Heaven Sent highlighter here, just because it hasn't gone a lot of use, because I tried it in the summer, tried it in the winter, and I didn't like how it looked on my skin tone. All right, so those are the makeup items that I want to use up in 2023, just to kind of showcase what we've got. This is what I have. So these are the items I want to use up, make good progress on, decide where I want to go with them. And that is going to complete my very first video for this channel. Again, if you're excited or if you've panned any of these items before and have some advice, tips, or tricks, please feel free to leave a comment down below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I will be posting some introductions to some projects that I'm going to be doing, and you may see some familiar looking items in them. Again, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a great day.